So it was not St. George's Day today, and nobody seemed to realise. St. George's Day is on the 23rd of April every year, apart from on those years where it coincides with Easter. And apparently, the Church of England informed everyone that any Saint's Day falling on a Holy or Easter week moves to the week after the Easter fortnight, usually the first Monday, meaning it's been transferred to the 28th this year. But the thing is, the moral authority and the sort of cultural authority of the Church of England is so low that nobody realised. Nobody knew that today was actually not St. George's Day. And so everyone celebrated St. George's Day as if it actually was. And so let's have a talk about how the celebrations of St. George's Day went and what the responses have been can tell us about how the battle for English identity is going. Because English identity in Britain is one of those things that's been left fallow. They've ignored it. They've decided what we can do is circumvent it. We'll have the Scots identity, which is woke. We'll have the Welsh identity, which is woke. We have the Irish identity, which is woke. And we have the British identity for everything else. And so the English were like, oh, do we not exist anymore then? What's going on? And so we decided to start doing things ourselves, because this is the age-old tradition of the English, is don't wait for someone else to do it, just get on and do it yourself. And the state will eventually pick it up after you. And you can tell that we're winning on this, because they've realised, oh no, we have to start having a narrative for English identity. And the problem they have is that English identity has always been called far right. We've always been called far right for this goddamn flag. And I tell you what, they're right, and they're not having it back. This is ours, you don't get to have it. Because every damn year, we have the same argument on Twitter, as David summarises. St. George's Day tomorrow, James O'Brien and Otto English can barely sleep. They've had their actually he was Turkish tweets in their drafts for months. It's so good. And the thing is, I went and looked at Otto English's Blue Sky account. He's like, well, I mean, I only said it once. It's like, yeah, okay, you said it once, but why were you saying it? Why are you attacking this core part of English mythological life? What is wrong with you that you feel the need to do this? You don't do this to anyone else. You wouldn't dare do this to anyone else. You wouldn't even dream of it. And yet when it comes to ours, you can't wait. You're chomping at the bit. And everyone knows it, which is why you've become a stereotype of it, which is why people make jokes about it and they're funny. I mean, just this is an example from the Left Bible. And it's the usual blah, 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 blah. Oh, deboonkers. Oh, my God. You were old hat in C.S. Lewis's day, let alone now. This is St. George. His father was from what is now Turkey. Now, that's interesting how they've like, oh, yeah, no, wait, we've been calling him a Turk all this time. St. George was not a Turk. He was absolutely... He lived 1,000 years before the Turks conquered Anatolia. He definitely wasn't a Turk. He was a Cappadocian Greek. So... or at least his father was. So his father was from what now is Turkey, though. His mother was from Syria. He was a Roman soldier. He died in Palestine. He never set foot in England. I mean, obviously false. He didn't slay a dragon. Again, obviously false. He was a Christian saint. And he's also honoured in other religions. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about other religions. You know, I better care about my own. But it's not about the religiosity of it, is it? It's about the fact that obviously you think, oh no, we need to deconstruct this, so you can't have it. And that's what this is all about. Possession. They want to take this away from you. What they're trying to do is disinherit you from an English hero. That's what this is about. And I mean, there's reasonable arguments to be made against this. Like, yeah, sure, these things, they are all factually true, but they're irrelevant because the purpose of the myth of George is that it is symbolically true, that the English think about themselves and feel represented in themselves. And the thing is, dragon slaying is actually not uniquely confined to St. George when it comes to English mythology. Beowulf slays a dragon, and that's how eventually he dies. You have in the Arthurian mythos, Gawain kills a dragon. I think Lancelot does too, and they also kill various other beasts. And then you have George doing it. So it's the concept of slaying dragons is very symbolically loaded in English mythology, and it's gone through English mythology since we were pagans and up until now. So you can't take this away from us, I'm afraid, because it's not really about the facts, especially as the facts, frankly, are not on your side. St. George was English. He was a Christian saint in the service of Jesus, who was also English, one and only Son of God, who, lo and behold, what were the odds, is an Englishman as well. So fuck yourselves. I think this kind of stuff really pisses me off. Happy St. George's Day, England's national day, when we celebrate our patron saint, a Turkish officer in the Roman army who died in Palestine and never visited Britain and didn't kill a dragon. Not true, but okay, go off, Jenny. And of course, as this fine person points out, St. George killing a dragon, laughable, a primitive piece of mythology worthy of debunking. Uluru being inhabited by the spirits of deceased aboriginals, a beautiful example of an ancestral culture, and we must respect it. Because exactly as she's posted here, I'm surprised that he was climbing Uluru at all. Disrespect for traditional owners' views, perhaps criminal? Yeah, okay, Jenny, why can't we apply that standard to ourselves? We are the traditional ancestral tribe of this land. That's what we are. We are not floating, free-form universal humans who exist in a nowhere place in a nowhere time. We are the English and we come from England. This is our ancestral tradition that you are busy trying to debunk, and we're not having it. We are not having it. I'm not having it, especially. Right? Again, you get loads of this. It's Happy St. George's Day. When we celebrate a Turkish migrant worker, he wasn't a migrant worker, but anyway, who never came to England, false, and would probably be barred now from entering, and based because, of course, St. George was English, so he'd want that same thing. So, let's get into the identity theft portion of what I wanted to talk about today, because, my goodness, there has been a lot of it. Now, on the one hand, you've got this from Rishi Sunak. Now, I don't think Rishi Sunak is someone who hates England, and really, I think this is all about tribalism, right? It's our tribe, because I didn't get it for the video, but I saw Frank Bruno posting about St. George's Day. And Frank Bruno has always come across as well, like for any of the Zoomers in the audience who don't know, Frank Bruno is now a fairly old man who was a boxer in like the early 90s, a famous boxer in the 90s, and he is black. But he's always seemed normal, right? And there were loads of these back in the day, like Chris Eubank, just totally normal. They weren't infested with identity politics, and they didn't have an entire wing of politics nurturing their grievance. So they just felt normal, and they were just normal, and they just seemed normal, and that's all we ever asked for, right? And Rishi Sunak comes from this stripe, right, where he obviously doesn't hate England. He obviously doesn't hate this place. And I can, on those grounds, accept these people as kind of honorary Englishmen. You know, they've joined the tribe and they're like, no, I like England. I like being here. I grew up here. This is my home. I can accept those people. It's not a big deal for me. I'm not a giant purist, even though a lot of people are, right? And like I said, I think Rishi Sunak is one of those types, which is fine. And like I said, I can accept it. The problem is Rishi Sunak is quite literally not English and quite literally very Indian. I mean, he celebrates Dilwali in number 10 Downing Street. And when he is elected, India didn't celebrate that an Englishman was elected the Prime Minister of Britain. They celebrated because an Indian was elected the Prime Minister of Britain. All of India celebrated this. Modi rings him up and congratulates him. Like, again, I don't think Rishi Sunak is actually ill-meaning, and I don't think he hates England or anything like that. I actually think he probably quite likes England, but he's not English. But even then, like I said, I'm not going to be a purist about it. I am going to say, look, ethnically you are not English, but I can accept that Rishi Sunak is kind of like one of us, right? He's part of the tribe. But then you get those people I will never accept into my tribe. I will never accept Sadiq Khan as being English at all. You are a tiny, beak-nosed Pakistani Muslim man. And you know you are, which is why you spent your lawyer's career defending jihadists, and you spend every day celebrating every opportunity to celebrate diversity, to celebrate the dispossession of the English from their capital city and anywhere else in their lands. Sadiq Khan celebrates it. And I will not accept Sadiq Khan, especially as, notice his message here, from Shakespeare to Wembley, queuing to Sunday roast. So it's just a bunch of crass stereotypes. Being English means many things. No, it means being descended from English people, right? To be English is an ethnic identity that you inherit. But he says, at its heart, it's about standing up for what we believe in. Stop you there. There's no we. There is no we. you are a foreigner to me, Sadiq Khan, and moreover, you are one that is trying to destroy my country. Right? I do not accept you into my tribe. But he says now a series of values. And the purpose of all values discourse when it comes to national identity is to give you a reason to accept foreigners in your own place. It's about dispossessing you of the thing that you physically, linearly inherit and allow someone to whom it doesn't actually ancestrally belong to take it instead, which is how Sadiq Khan took London. He says, we believe in democracy, fairness, decency, and respect. Right. So democracy in the modern form is pretty new. So what he's saying then is basically Henry VIII was not English. What he's saying then is, like, I don't know, Wat Tyler wasn't English. Oliver Cromwell wasn't English. People who don't respect democracy in the modern form that Sadiq Khan is talking about, universal suffrage, are in some way not English. And it's like, no, Sadiq, you are a Pakistani Muslim man who claims to be a proud European and who seems to, in every other way, hate this country and the people of it. You aren't English, and I will never accept you as English. And you can tell that Sadiq Khan feels like he's losing this because he starts posting it repeatedly. He said the same thing on his personal account as well. It's like, oh yeah, no, I have to keep repeating it. And Sadiq Khan is just one example of many, like David Lammy, like all of the, like, you know, English hating foreigners, basically. They all start going, oh yeah, no, I'm English. I celebrate being English, like the Ash Sarkar type. It's like, no, you're not, and you don't, and I don't accept you. Frankly, I do not accept you. Because as I pointed out, what I most enjoy about St. George's Day are the woke politicians who on every other day call English patriots far right, coming out and pretending just for today that they don't hate England. So it must be painful. It must be, you can tell they're doing it through gritted teeth. It's like, oh shit, this is the day when the far right come out. And now I have to pretend like I'm English and I like being English. Fuck! It must be so difficult for them, right? And the Keir Starmer, and you see here what it really means to be English. Oh, really, Keir? And Keir Starmer is English, but it's insufferable how he's going to join in the woke discourse of trying to take it away from us. Because look what he says. I'm just going to read from the video. While this is a day of celebration, we cannot be under any illusions that there is a never-ending fight for our flag and what it represents. It's not your flag. You literally condemned it. Like Emily Thornberry, like in 2013, taking photos of the England flag and going, look at this. You condemned this flag as far right. And you know what? I accept it. I accept that the English flag and the English people are, from your point of view as a communist, far right. No, you're absolutely right. We are a deeply conservative and traditional people. We are exactly far right, exactly as far right as you would claim. And I'm not having this. There are people trying to sow division in our communities, taking the red, white flag with them as they throw bricks at businesses. Yeah, okay, I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're ours, unfortunately. I hate to tell you this, you know, I'm sorry. And that's why the battle for our flag is important, because what happens? So, right. You can what they're trying to do is crowbar wokeness into being English, like they did with the Celts, like they do with the Germans, like they do with the Swedes, probably like they do with the French. I don't really know, but they want to make it so being English means you have to be woke, you have to be a liberal, you have to just be British values, you have to be all of these things. It's like, no, sorry, that's not the case, right? And so Keir Starmer recognizes this is a battle, and they're not really winning it. We've been winning it. So this, and in fact, we've been winning it. So I just accept, yeah, no, we are the far right. St. George represents the far right, the native people of this country, the people to whom genuine, authentic possession of the land belongs. That's who we are. We are the English and we are living in England. You do not get to values discourse us away from our patrimony. I won't have it. And if you're like, oh, that's the far right, yes, and we slay dragons. Now what? Sam Bidwell here did an amazing thread on this in just the various ways that the English are just unique. And I mean, it just goes so into great depth as well. One thing I particularly enjoy is the familial structure he gets to at some point. So he gets to Bede, talking about how the English have, again, since like the 8th century here, had a preference for nuclear families. And the thing is, this ties very well to Tacitus's Germania, where he says basically the same thing. The German tribes all live in little like separated family huts, and he was like, well, they just don't know how to build cities. They don't build next to each other. It's like, no. This is a nicer way of living, you fool. Everyone wants their own little bit of privacy, and the English brought that to England with them, and they still live with it. They still live with this. And this is why we don't have serfdom in England, and never really did have serfdom in England, and why everywhere else, and not just that, but peasantry as well. The English were yeomen. They were property-holding landowners. They had something of their own. Whereas everywhere else in the rest of the world, you have peasants, which is communal ownership of a plot of land. Now, I'm not even saying that what we do is better, right? It might not be better, actually. Like, psychologically. It might psychologically be better to have an extended family of small-holding peasants who personally don't own the land, but collectively do own that plot of land. So you don't have an active land market. Unlike in England, where you do have an active land market because property is personally owned and not collectively owned. I'm not saying that ours is better than theirs or anything like that. I don't know. I just know that this is ours, and I grew up with it, and it's the ancestral tradition of my country. It's the way I think things should be done because it's the way they've always been done around me, and I don't really fancy the alternative. So yeah, no, we are the far right. We are the English. We are going to win the battle for English identity because fundamentally, Keir, you don't really want it. Sadiq Khan, I know you don't really want it. David Lammy, all of the other woke Labour foreigners, I know you don't want it. But I do. I have nothing else. I can't just put down my English identity and pick it up in a case of identity theft like bloody Sadiq Khan does. Like, Sadiq Khan's got a million different identities. I don't. I don't have another identity. I don't have another flag. I don't have another country I can run to. And the reason that the English have won everything through history, and by God we have, it is because we just don't give up. We just stand there longer than the other guy. That's just... Napoleon said it, the Nazis said it, like everyone, the French said it, everyone says it. Like, that's the secret to English success. It's not that we're like bigger, stronger, smarter, braver than anyone else. It's that we're more tenacious than everyone else. And trust me, little man, I will be holding this flag longer than you will. Because like I said, I have nowhere else to go. There is no plan B for me. There is nothing else. You, when all of this goes belly up because you've ruined it, you've got an entire other country to flee to. I don't have anything else. And neither do the rest of us. So trust me that the old English tenacity is going to come out long before you actually win anything from us. Anyway, like I said, Sam did an amazing job here. Definitely look him up just at Sam Buildwell. Go read that thread. It's incredible. Because genuinely, this is how I feel about this. This is how I feel. No, this is ours. You cannot have it. It is exclusive. It is not inclusive. And the thing is, we've got lots of friends who are not English in England who support the patriot movement who are like, yeah, no, I'm not English. I'm my artiste. No, I'm Persian. I just love England. And no one doubts the sincerity of their support either. And we're happy to have them on board. But Sadiq Khan, you'll never be one. So anyway, as a reminder, St. George was English, although this is misinformation. He wasn't from Kent, he was from Wiltshire, obviously, God's own county. He killed a dragon, maybe in Maidstone, and he loved a pint. Bosh.